Tyre Nichols is gone, and 5 black officers killed him. But I wanted to look deeper into this story and find out what's going on here. Because to have 5 police officers that are supposed to be professionals literally beat a man to death just makes no sense to me. And destroy their careers. Makes no sense to me at all. So let's look into this. There was a group of officers created in Memphis, Tennessee called the Scorpions. And it consisted of 40 of them. 40 hand-picked police officers called the Scorpions. Now, it's not just a cool name. It was actually known to stand for Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods. Memphis, Tennessee is a very dangerous city. They have a lot of murders there, prostitution, you name it. Memphis, Tennessee is a very dirty city. And usually when you get this type of city, there's usually a lot of corruption that goes all the way up. And that's just the way it is. Now, I asked myself some simple questions. And if you stick around in this video, I'll tell you something that goes on in my town. I'm still researching. What did Tyre Nichols do wrong? The first thing I wondered, was he a drug dealer? Was he into... what was he? And here's what happened to him. He was pulled over on January 7th and arrested on suspicions of reckless driving. At least that's what the cops say. But according to the family's attorneys, they say they believe he was stopped for driving on the wrong way on a one-way street. So he's going down a one-way street the wrong way. That's what he was originally pulled over for. Make any sense? A simple traffic violation. Now, these Scorpion units have unmarked cars. They're doing super duper undercover work. They're supposed to be going after the baddest of baddest hombres, is what they're supposed to be doing. But I was also curious about something else. Was there ever any other allegations toward these so-called Scorpions? And I was able to dig up, apparently there are multiple allegations against the Scorpions unit. So these 5 guys, this ain't the first time they've done this. Or the other 35 members in the group plus the 5. Because there's allegations going on toward them for this. Now the reason this is important is because the chief of police is a female and she's 62 years old right now. So what about her? Is what I'm kind of curious about is she dirty? And that's kind of important. Because one thing I've noticed about police in USA is that when they get charged for something or they do something wrong, it's like they don't go to jail. It's like they get fired, they get kicked out, and 2 states over, all of a sudden they're working at another police station. It's almost like they have a get out of jail free card. Stick around. I'll tell you the story I'm telling you. Now, the chief of police, who is she? Nobody's talking about that, are they? She was fired from the Atlanta Police Department in 2008 for her alleged involvement in a sex crime investigation into the husband of an Atlanta police sergeant. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is where this story came from. So, there were 2 detectives that accused Davis of telling them not to investigate Tyrell Moran Crane or whatever, and was married to Sergeant Tanya Crane after the police... It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Department obtained photos of him with underage girls. So, there's a police officer in the Atlanta Police Department that had underage girls' photos. And the 2 cops that were investigating, she told them not to investigate it, kind of cover it up. and she got fired. So what got into Memphis's head? Oh, wait a minute. She got fired for covering up a crime over kids. So let's hire her for our department. She's what we need to clean up this town. Does that make any sense to you? I mean, because that isn't how it works for the rest of us if we work jobs. It's almost like when you become a police officer, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'll have a link to the video of the cops, the 4 videos all together. You can go. You have to say you're 18, and you can go watch it, and you'll just shake your head all the way through it. It is completely disgusting. We got 5 huge cops trying to take down this 145 young man, and they couldn't hold him down. I guess he was too wiry. I mean, he did get away once. You'll see in the videos. I don't know, maybe he's scared for his life. I don't know. They're pretty hard on the guy. I think they were pissed off that he got away the first time. And now, because they were angry and their feelings were hurt, they were really taking it out on this guy. He really didn't deserve this. And I've told people in my videos, go buy cameras, put them in your vehicle. If you've got kids, your wife, whatever, and you get in your vehicle, they've all got cell phones. You give them strict orders. If I get pulled over by the police or if I'm talking to the police anytime, everybody start recording me. That's your only form of protection against those guys. And it's scary. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 220 pounds. And when I leave my house, I get worried. I have a completely clean record. I mean, imagine that, 60-year-old and a clean record. Never been in trouble for anything other than the odd speeding ticket. Yet when I leave my driveway, I am completely nervous that some cop is going to make up something against me. I've seen it done video after video. They pull you over, they search your vehicle, they drop cocaine, they drop weed, they drop things in your vehicle, and the next thing you know, you're being charged for something you didn't do. This goes on all the time. And you have to protect yourself. You know, people say, oh, freedom of the USA. I don't think so. I feel like Gestapo's out there all the time. I go 10 miles over speed limit, they're nailing me like I've murdered somebody. I mean, it's ridiculous what goes on. Let me tell you the story, if you stuck around long enough, about what is going on in my town and how they hush things. We have a population of 1,000 people here. Our sheriff will get on there lots of times and sit back and say, oh, I want to be transparent. And I'm going to prove to you he's a lying bastard. We had a cop, an officer, that was pulling over females and trading sexual favors instead of a ticket. This guy's married. His wife's elementary school teacher, grade 2, grade 3, and he has a couple kids. This was going on for over 3 years by the time some woman decided to finally stand up. And then our sheriff had said how he was being very transparent and I don't want the public to be afraid to come to us. 3 years? You're damn right they were afraid to come to you. And it's like that anywhere in the U.S. People are afraid to say anything against the police officers until you get one that stands up. It's rare. And there are crooked cops out there, and there's more to it than what people want to admit to. And yet the warning signs are there. It just blows my mind away. Well, this cop in my town was fired, and his wife is still working at the school, and I don't know what happened to him. He didn't go to jail. Nothing. Our sheriff said, oh, we're going to push it through to some other bureau or something. I don't know. All it is a cover-up because he didn't want to press the charges. No charges were pressed on this guy. He'll probably be working in another state and get another job, and this is what goes on. I've seen videos of cops that pull over a judge, and then a judge gets out and says, do you know who the hell I am? I'm Judge so-and-so. And then the cop actually puts his head down and says, I'm sorry. What? I thought we were all under the same rule of law. We're not. And the rich also get away with a lot more, too. The poor guy, he gets it up the ass hard. All the time. It's very rare where the poor guy don't. They just kick him down harder. And these are just facts that's going on. Now, you look into the chief of police, she was fired in Atlanta, and then Memphis, Tennessee took her as the next chief of police. And I'm like, why? All 40 officers that are in this Scorpion group should be checked out. There needs to be a federal investigation on this city, Memphis, Tennessee. And that's all there is to it. And this so-called chief of police needs to be checked out. But you know what'll happen? Because she's 62, she'll probably take early retirement if this blows up the wrong way. And she'll bow out, and basically nothing will happen to her when this entire group was created by her. And when she sits back on the newscast saying, I want to be transparent, I can't believe they did this. This was like Rodney King, is what she said. This is not like Rodney King. Okay? Rodney King did get the shit kicked at him, but he didn't get killed. Not even close. So when she says that, I'm just like, do you not know your history, lady? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? And this is wrong on so many levels. She needs to be charged. Now, like I said, there are other allegations against this Scorpion group sitting there. So they knew about this stuff going on. They just choose not to do anything about it until somebody died. And good old Tyre Nichols is the one that actually is paying the penalty for it. And that's the sad part. When you leave your driveway, make sure you got cameras in your vehicle. You can buy them on eBay, on Amazon. They're not very much money. I've got a couple in my truck. I've instructed my family to record. Everything is being recorded at all times. I'm actually getting to the point where I'm now starting to almost wear a camera on my chest everywhere I go. Because the police are just unpredictable, and to me, the majority of them are tyrants. And it's just really, really sad the way it's gotten. It's almost like a cop looks at every single person as being a crook, and, oh, that's where I'm going to move up because I put a charge on this person. There's nothing there for a police officer. His only job is to screw you, and that's it. And it shouldn't be like that. I mean, a police officer's job should be to keep the peace. It should be to help somebody, give them a lift up. I mean, they see a homeless guy. They come down on homeless people like no tomorrow, like they're some parasite. And that should tell you right there what the police are like in that city. And people say, well, we still have good cops. They're rare. They're so rare. I mean, yes, there are good cops out there. There are some that'll go out and give that homeless guy a bottle of water or give him a few bucks to grab a meal. I mean, yes, there are some. But I don't see too many of them. Even in my town of only 1,000 people, our own sheriff is covering up this guy that was a cop. And yet they sit up there and they say the same bullshit all the time. We are trying to be transparent. You're not trying to be shit. You're just sorry you got caught. And that's all there is to it. But you're more than happy to put the screws to somebody else if they made a mistake in their life. It's just unbelievable. And it might be because the jails make so much money, because in Tennessee we have so many private jails that corporations own. It's basically money made big time. It's not hard to end up in jail in Tennessee. You really got to watch what you do. But anyhow, I really believe the feds should take a closer look at Memphis, Tennessee, look at that police force, look at that chief, and start digging. Because she ended up trying to get some police officer off that had child pornography on their systems. And it's ridiculous. She should not have been hired as a police officer again. She's already proven what she's like. Obviously, that doesn't matter. Anyhow, I'll have a link to the video, a couple stories in the bottom. You give it a read. You be the judge. But I'm telling you, these stories happen all the time. And police are not your friend. By no means. They are your enemy. Catch you guys on the next one.